Welcome to episode 7 of a St. Paul Saints promotional podcast we like to call Funny in Theory.
You like to call it different every time, but
I like to mix it up. If I were to be followed,
you mix it up
you have to
when
mix
it comes to wiping?
No, because then it just gets weird. I actually have a bidet at home.
Do you?
And
Do you really?
Yes.
I've never used one.
It is fantastic.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
I'm so intrigued right now.
It is. So this is very funny. My Japanese cousin gave me one years ago, and this is the full, and the name of the brand is Toto in Japan. T-O-T-O. Toto. I don't know how they pronounce it.
Sure.
And it's heated. And the water is heated, and you can change everything. Brought it home, and it's weird because it will sit maybe 4 or 6 inches above where your normal seat is, and so
Okay.
For me, suddenly I found myself kind of tippy-toeing, which you don't want to do. But also during that time, we were potty training the kids, which was next to impossible.
Right.
So we never fully hooked it up, and then when we did I don't know if you want to say it's like standard versus metric systems for the piping and the water line coming in, but we couldn't get it any pressure, which does not make sense if you're using a bidet to.
Right. Do you still wipe with those?
So, yes, you have, because you get wet. You don't want to walk around with soggy bottom. But now they have an American
Soggy bottom.
version. Yeah.
My nickname when I was in the womb.
Now they have a version which is American made, and it's just as you use it as a toilet, it's regular flat toilet seat. It doesn't stick up 4 inches. You hook it into the cold water, which is different than the Japanese, which is warm water. And there's something about that. You could just sit there forever. It's like, oh, this is kind of a weird but pleasant experience. Now it's cold water, which doesn't bug me at all. But you get done, you kind of pat yourself clean, and you move on with your day, and
Okay.
it's life changing.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to try one.
Yeah, and then there's a little. I'm not going to go into that. Never mind. There's a lever for male or female depending on what. This is a baseball promotional podcast.
There's literally no talk about baseball.
There's no talk about baseball, which is what we do. By the way, I am. Director of Entertainment, Joshua Will, here with the St. Paul Saints.
And I am Skare Bailey, just extremely fascinated by this bidet story.
Oh, yeah, you have to try it, and
Okay.
it really is life-changing.
I'll try it and I'll report back.
And my son doesn't listen to this podcast, so I can tell this story, but he will not go to the bathroom any place but the house.
Yeah.
Because it's fantastic.
Yeah. When you get older, though, like holding it in hurts a lot more.
Yes. But also you have to realize he goes to public school, or a lot of times when he does.
He doesn't even go to school?
No. I mean, you know what toilet paper's like at school.
I mean, it's the same at this ballpark.
Exactly, and I won't go here either. But, I'm now almost 50 years old, and my digestive system is on a regular. I know when I go in the morning, and I'll be absolutely fine. As long as there's not a lot of dairy,
Okay.
we're good to go.
Okay.
So,
Great.
Yeah, so bidets, I can't stress this enough. It's really, really fantastic.
I feel like there could be a joke in there, like a dad joke. Like, what did the toilet say to the butt? Bidet, mate. I don't know. Something like stupid.
What's really funny too is, whenever anyone goes in the bathroom, and ours is upstairs. We have a South Minneapolis house, so it's one bedroom upstairs with a bathroom, and it'll be completely quiet, and then you'll just hear this, and you know what's going on in the next room, and you try not to picture it. And
It's so
and
cringe.
with my son, after I'm like, it's a minute, that's enough. You can do whatever you're doing. You're done in there. You're done.
Normally, like parents have to limit their kids' shower time. You're limiting the time that they have water sprinkling on their butt.
All water usage in the house. Because I basically have two teenage boys who are stinky and showering all the time. And
Your sons are the reason that there's
a water drought,
restrictions in cities.
So Milo and Alden, when they look back in history and wonder why the world dried up,
You're the reason that the lawns are brown.
So this is such a fantastic segue, because for today's topic, I wanted to talk about there's a saying in theater called "hurry up and wait," and it's the same thing at the ballpark for promotions. You never know how long those 3 outs are going to take. Sometimes they take 3 outs.
You know, some innings have 3 outs and some take 45 minutes.
And a lot of it involves running to a place, whether it's center field, whether it's right field, and then waiting to go there. And when we first get there, eyes on the field. And then there's a pitching change. Or something happens in the stands, or this, that, and the other thing. And after about 5 minutes, one of us will turn to the other and say something just completely out of context, which is kind of my favorite part of games. And it's because we're either completing a thought, which is normally me saying something to you, completing a conversation we had 2 hours earlier, where you're looking at me like, what are you talking about?
Right.
But I give you no context whatsoever.
Yes.
It's just like, oh yeah, it does work.
Yeah.
Talking about, Josh. Other things are what we call Baileyisms. And I want to start off by, I have your permission here, and I love this. You put up a post. It was Labor Day weekend.
Yes.
How was your Labor Day weekend?
It was wonderful. I got to do a little life stuff, but also I got to see some friends I haven't seen in a long time at a cabin.
Very nice.
Glorious.
Where was the cabin?
Up in Aiken, Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
So we were very close to Garrison.
Yeah, straight up 169.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
There was a little curvy, but yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we went up there last year. Beautiful place.
It was great. Weather, I mean, I wish it would have been a little warmer, but it was still low 70s. But being on the lake, it's a little chillier at that.
Did you have any mosquitoes?
No, but there were so many bees. Do you know how many bees I killed? They had this left. So my friend just got this cabin, and the previous owners left a few things for them. One of them was a fly zapper, but it's shaped kind of like a mini tennis racket. But if you push a button, and you hit the fly, it'll kill the fly. Okay, and it zaps it.
Okay.
So we're like, does that thing work on bees? Because there was bees everywhere in this one part that we were sitting at earlier before we went on the boat. I don't know why I am terrified of bees. I've been stung before. You don't cry, but man, it just kind of hurts, and it's an annoying hurt for 2 hours. Yeah. I didn't want that to happen. And so, I mean, oh my gosh. And okay, so I'm above 21 years old, so I can drink. I was having a wonderful start off, just a hard seltzer, just easing my way into the day.
The pre-drink drink?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just easing my way into the day. And we were talking about how someone had a bee in their drink, and then they took a drink and it stung them on the lip or the tongue.
No.
Right. Okay. 10 minutes passed. I take a drink. Something is in my mouth. It was a bee, but luckily it was in there long enough
that it was drunk.
Because it was totally drunk and passed out. I spit it out along with the rest of my other adult beverage. And it was...
Okay, so 2 questions. Did you you didn't finish that drink?
No.
Okay. At what time? You said you started your day off
probably around noon.
Okay, not too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just... I'm getting worked up thinking about it because I was so anti-bee, and then I had one in my mouth. My mouth. This is a sacred mouth. Not for bees.
Not for bees. I don't react well to bee stings. I don't go into anaphylaxis, or I'm not allergic to them at all. And I don't know. Have I told you the story? We had a wasp nest in our chimney.
No.
So just a tiny little hole, and you could just see wasps going back and forth. And I was just like, I got to somehow get rid of these things.
For that.
Yeah, so I went up there and I got the spray, and it's got that little straw, and I put it in there, and they came out, and I just got stung left and right.
Oh my gosh!
And it's for me, it's almost like it's heat, my arm gets hot.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, that's not going to work. And so I'm like, well, how can I do this? And I was like, well, I got a shop vac with a really long vacuum extension. So I got up on my ladder, and I basically just put it next to the hole where they'd either fly in or come out. And we're talking, just a pinhole, but they could come out. And the thought of this when you're talking about the racket, because it probably made a little sound, which was kind of fun. Mm-hmm. You're killing something, but at the same time, you're having fun. So you got the vacuum going, but every time you would suck up a wasp, it would go thump, thump. And so I started counting. It was thump, thump, thump. And there's something really satisfying about it. Like, I'm getting you, you little bastard. And thump, thump, thump. After about 250, I was like, and I'm counting, and I'm like, how many more? thump, thump, thump. And I was well over 300, and my arm is getting tired at this point. They're not stopping.
Man.
Okay, so I go away and I come back again, another 100, thump, thump, thump. Like, how many are in my chimney? I was like, kept doing it, never got stung. It was really fun because by this point, I'm really upset that there's this many bees and there's nothing I can do about it. Oh, and by the way, I was like, when I open this thing, because it's a shop vac, so you open the top like R2D's head, you take it off, and I'm like, if these things...
What if they're not dead?
So it creates a vacuum, and they basically suffocated the minute they were in there.
Great.
But now there are 400-500 dead wasps, and I was like, well, what am I going to do at this point? I'm not going to call somebody. And so I get that it's foam insulation spray, and it got stung again, but I threw that in there, and there was no way for the bees to get out.
Okay.
Or the bees to get in. So now I'm really satisfied because these bees are coming back, or these wasps are coming back from, we love bees, hate wasps, are coming back from wherever they're at, and they can't get in. So now there's this cloud of zzz, and within an hour, they're all gone. And I'm like, that's fantastic. And then I thought, oh, crap. I've now just trapped how many hundreds of bees in my chimney?
Well, yeah.
Are they going to come into the house? And they never did.
Well, that's good.
They never did. But the reason I asked about about mosquitoes, going back to that, is I was waiting for my son to get done with cross country practice beforehand, and I looked down, and on my thumb knuckle there's a mosquito. Mm-hmm. Thumb knuckles are kind of like your elbow. You can pinch as hard as you want, and it'll never hurt. There are no nerves, so I never noticed it.
Right.
I'm not one of those people that really reacts to mosquito bites until 2-3 days later for some reason. So, like, my wife will swell up. She's allergic to them, and the bites, and it's horrific. But for me, they're the itchiest things. And if you've ever got a mosquito bite on a knuckle, there's no way to itch it and feel good. And so I'm just dreading. You can even see, still have a little blood from when I smacked it.
I don't know how you're sitting next to me after all of that.
Yeah, I was traumatized. Not only that, I opened a can with a screwdriver and a rubber mallet before this started.
You did.
So this is the way we work.
Cheers.
Just like cheers. Gonna have that
check for
taste.
bees.
Oh God, I don't know. I can't even take a sip now. Okay, so going back to your Facebook post, Labor Day weekend, I didn't do anything. I only put my liver to work on Labor Day.
Good.
So here's what Sarah Bailey wrote. The pictures will never depict the full inside story defining the 24 hours. Cocktail shots with no ice, a youthful inebriated Skye, breast-pumping beer ponger, a couple of liberals, zapping killer bees, we talked about that, a shuttle enthusiast named Randy, a stuffed fish named Roger, but most essentially a group of gals obsessed with getting together for an excuse to indulge in a double batch of corn dip.
Corn dip, man. So good.
Is there anything you can expand upon?
Oh, man, it's just small town bars up there and just small town life. The breast pumping beer ponger was indeed one of my good friends. When you got to pump it out, I mean, we can't stop the game for a half an hour just for you to pump.
Okay, so she recently had a baby, and she's...
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Let's see. I got called.
Did she have one of those electronic ones, or was it the one? Yes. Yep, I know that noise.
Let's see. The fish named Rogers. I did one of those claw machines at a bar, and I won.
Oh, really?
Gave it to Tater, so that's his toy now.
You're one of the only people I know who have won from a claw game.
Really?
Yeah.
It definitely was not what I wanted, but it was the one that was the most easy to get.
Okay.
Let's see. I got called a liberal from somebody from Florida by literally saying I don't ever talk about politics. And he just went on. That one's a really rude, though, situation. And he eventually apologized to me, but that one I don't want to get into.
Without getting political, what's really funny is once you get out of the cities and you go north, the billboards really change. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was, I don't know, not a nice human being, but he ended up apologizing. So that was nice.
Okay.
What else?
Did he apologize and then just stay around too long?
Well, no, he came up to me and my friend and was like, telling us how liberal we were and all of that stuff. And we're just like, we don't really talk about politics when we're out and about. Like, that's just not who we are. And then we heard him talking crap to his friends about us, about how we're so liberal. And I looked at him and I was like, we literally didn't say anything about politics at all. That doesn't mean anything. stop talking about us, like whatever. And then he started talking to me about like, sorry, when I get drunk, I start to talk politics. And I was like, well, it sounds like we should find a new conversation starter for you when you're at a bar and you're trying to talk to some girls.
Yeah.
Like,
how about them Saints?
yeah. Like, how about that weather today? I don't know. Either way, we met a guy with a very funny t-shirt. So of course I had to take a picture with him. What were the other things? Oh, the corn dip is so delicious.
Okay, tell me about this corn dip.
It's just corn and like, it's a dip that you eat.
Okay, no,
It's kind of like Mexican street corn, except cold.
I just had some of that kind of, was yours mayonnaise based?
Yes.
Okay, and I just had some of that. It was wonderful.
You might not like it though because there's cilantro in it.
As long as it's not like punch you in the face cilantro.
It's not.
Okay. And corn dip is a lot like, for me, coleslaw or potato salad. There's really good and there's really bad. You know, you can't really explain it. You know, I don't care if you have big wedges of potato or small. Just is it good?
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes you'll get it and you're just like this, angry, just instantly angry. I was looking forward to this.
Yeah.
So
the shuttle enthusiast Randy, has a cabin up there. She was very upset that my friend's husband, who was sober, drove us to the bar when there's a free shuttle, didn't you know? And she screamed it in my face, like, but she was being excited about
I was
it.
like a space shuttle.
No,
like,
just a free shuttle. That's it. And
so were you staying in like a resort or is it just?
No, it's just her cabin. And the bar was like 10 minutes from her cabin.
And so the bar sends the shuttle out?
No, just I guess in all of the city, you can call the shuttle and they'll take you wherever.
That's a fantastic idea.
Uber.
Yeah.
You act like this is the newest idea ever. I joked that I was probably just some random guy with a van who lives up there who's like, just give me a call, I'll drive you around.
Well, I wasn't sure if the city was like, we don't want drunk drivers out there.
Right.
And
I mean, again,
how many Uber drivers are there in Aiken?
I have no idea. I don't even know if it was an option.
So I dig that. I really dig that. In Japan, they have this shuttle system. It's basically Uber, but they'll send two people out. So one to drive you back to your house and another one to drive your car back with you.
Wow.
I was like, that's
nice.
thinking. Yeah.
That would be nice. So that was the day.
Speaking, we have our last game in 11 games coming up. It's a Sunday day game. Is there anything planned for after that? I'm just planting the seed in your head right now.
Oh, you want to have a little partay?
A little partay.
Well, I'm trying to have a little partay for our dear friend Jordan after the 12th.
We all received some great but really sad news that our producer and our really good friend, Jordan Lynn, is going to be leaving us to work for the University of Minnesota, which means he's going to be across the river and we no longer can contact him.
Correct.
Which is how it goes.
I know.
But if you've seen any of the video production that's happened there, obviously this podcast, he just does great work and we're going to miss him. So
dearly.
We'll continue, but it won't be the same. So I'm going to look over at him right now.
I know.
And then we'll look back.
We'll do a tribute episode on him.
So here's the thing. I talked to Jordan last night.
Did you now?
And I wanted to get some Baileyisms because, like I said, every once in a while, here's the thing, too, is I've been driving my kids around everywhere for the last week. So I've been catching up on the episodes that we've talked. It's a podcast, so we talk.
Your eye hurt or something?
Yeah, it really does. Something's in it. And I realize I'm doing some self-reflection. I say, oh, it's great, or it's okay, or I love it, and I feel like I'm being overly positive, like I'm trying to sell stuff, which comes off as disingenuous to me. So I'm going to try to stay away from saying that because there are some things I'm very salty or angry about, and we'll save that for the drunk podcast that we can never actually air.
Great.
But I've said this so many times, my favorite things, and there are so many favorite things, but it's the randomness of these conversations that you and I will get into, whether it's what do we need for today? Ketchup, and I'll spell ketchup, C-A-T-S-U-P. And then suddenly...
Like a sociopath.
Yeah, that's just how, because when I grew up, it was called catsup, but I never pronounced it catsup. That's just how it's spelled. And then catch, for me, it's a weird-looking word. So I spell it catsup, but I pronounce it ketchup. But this went back and forth for a long time, where it was almost like, Josh, what is the matter with you? It's like it's just kind of an old school spelling. I don't spell shop, S-H-O-P-P-E. I don't spell color, C-O-L-O-U-R.
Literally before you said that, I was thinking favorite with that way.
Favorite, yeah. It just doesn't. It doesn't look right.
Right.
Is there any word that you cannot pronounce? Like it just this is totally random here.
I don't know.
Whenever I see the word contribute with shun at the end of it,
Contribution?
can't say it. It's always contribute, and it takes about 3 or 4 to get there. Which if you ever do you want to make a yeah. So I have a problem with that one.
Gotcha.
But what? So Sierra and I will rarely talk during a game except for what needs to be done. She will go to every single promotion on the field, just to double check on stuff. And I will, if I'm not doing a promotion or I'm not doing an on-field announcement, I'm actually watching the entertainers and things around the stadium. But when we do get there, every once in a while, you'll just say something very random to me. And my favorite from the other day was just looked at me and you're like, "How do you spell dumbass?" Which was like, D-U-M-B-A-S. You weren't being mean.
I don't remember half the things that come out of my mouth.
Which is why I asked Mr. Lynn here to give me his favorite Baileyisms, the ones that we can actually talk about or the ones that I can actually read. And I want you to tell me if you remember the context of it.
I can try.
Okay. So we've got 5 or 6 here. First one is, I wish my face was made out of hands.
I don't know why. Is it and just right there?
Yep. Just I wish my face was made out of hands.
Do we get to check with Jordan if he remembers why I said that? He doesn't remember either.
Remember. Okay.
I don't know.
So we call this a Baileyism.
Yeah.
I wish my face was made out of hands. Okay. Second one. I don't know if you can combine these meats. They're very juicy in different ways.
I don't remember the context, but I stand by that.
Combine these. They're very juicy in different ways. So are we talking about like sliced meats?
Probably.
Or?
I mean,
well,
meat in general. A slab of meat? Do you remember?
Jordan is off camera right now just laughing.
Oh, wait. Was meat a body part? With another meat? No? Okay, then no. I don't know.
Wow. I will say I went to get I told you this. I will eat maybe once a homestand if I get, but for the most part, I'm trying to eat healthier, and I just wanted a bacon cheeseburger.
Yeah.
I was like,
those meats go together.
Yeah. But they're like, "Oh, we're out of bacon. Do you want to slice a ham on it?" I said, "No." I mean, those are 2 different types of meats, and I know it's hamburger, which is actually beef. And I know that pig is bacon and pig is ham, but different.
They taste way different.
Yeah.
I'm not a ham person.
No, so I did not want ham on top of the burger, and I got it, and it was fine, but it was just kind of eating to eat, and I wasn't enjoying it, and I didn't have my ham burger. And Canadian bacon, what is that all about? That's ham.
Yeah, but it's thinner.
Thinner ham?
I don't know.
Are you a thick cut bacon person or not?
I don't mind bacon, but I'm not like somebody who's like, I love bacon. I'm not one of those crazies. Like if it comes to breakfast meats, I'm picking sausage.
I enjoy anything that's meat where it's a little salty. So that, but again, I have to kind of cut that out. And if you get the uncured, unsalted bacon, it's like, well, now I'm just eating flesh.
Yeah,
I'm not really not into that. I'm trying to. It was very funny as you were talking about the bar up in Aiken. We went to my brother's bachelor party years ago, and it was up in Canada, so just across the border. And that bar was hysterical because it was just in the middle of nowhere. We would go there 10 o'clock at night, no one. 11 o'clock, the locals come in. Hello, how are you?
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it. There was no talking. There was just, we're here to drink. They watched their TV, which was Canadian football at the time, which is 120 yards or some weird type thing. And then it's just like, all right, we're done. Or maybe it's 80 yards. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, next one is, it's brighter than a bright sky outside.
Dude, it was so bright out. Sometimes that can come into play multiple times. There's bright skies, but then there's super bright skies. Like,
Yeah, so a lot of times we'll come out of the tunnel or we'll focus on the field, and the minute you look up, it's not a blue sky. There's not like a light in your eye. It's just like one big overhead LED light.
You're not here necessarily yet, but when we go out and do ballpark prep before the game, and you're wiping down white picnic tables, and if it's super sunny out, or the drink rails, just kills your eyes.
Yeah. And I rarely wear sunglasses, particularly on the field.
Yeah.
But there are days where like I absolutely have to do that. And the one day I wore it, I missed the first pitch, which still to this day haunts me.
Yeah.
But also there's always just weird glares coming if you've got stadium lights or a sun. Okay, my brain is like not fully mashed potatoes. Someone was mashing potatoes and then halfway through decided to stop. That's what potatoes taste like.
Honestly, that was probably just said during a game when I was tired and I couldn't get a thought out. Kind of like you today. You're taking a long time to get your thoughts out.
It's actually this whatever I'm drinking has coated my mouth and I have no saliva whatsoever. What gets me here is that's what potatoes taste like. They're not fully mashed potatoes. Someone was mashing potatoes and then stopped halfway through.
You know how like sometimes there's clumpy mashed potatoes? I'm not a fan.
No, they're supposed to be mashed.
Yeah, all the way through.
Not half mashed. Do you enjoy the potato skin in?
Not really. Not in mashed potatoes. Do I mind eating the potato skin? No.
There is
But like a baked potato. Or like little reds. Little baby reds.
Oh, God. Little baby reds with butter and salt. Oh, I could eat that till the... There's oh, that's that noise again. Where we'll bake a potato, but then we'll put a salad inside it with vinaigrette. And if you've ever eat a salad with the potato as the bowl, it is honest to... Oh, God.
That's got to be a large potato or a very tiny dinner salad.
It's a regular russet, so... And then you just throw a big salad on top of it.
Like, describe the salad more to me.
It's just mixed greens.
Okay.
And you got a vinaigrette on top of it. You butter the hell out of the potato.
Okay.
And you eat it all together.
Okay.
It doesn't sound like it worked.
Would it taste the same if you had it in a bowl and you cut up the potatoes and you put it on top?
No. Because...
So you're one of those that you'd like a margarita, and if it doesn't come in a margarita glass, you're sending it back to the bar.
Now, for the most part, I will never like a margarita. I would rather just have the shot of tequila.
Okay, take out...
Okay, a liquid margarita, not a frozen.
Like a Moscow Mule. Normally you have those in the copper mugs. If they give it to you in a regular glass, are you sending it back because it's not part of the full experience?
So I did stand up for a little bit.
You are not answering the question.
I am not, because the thing about alcohol...
Because you are.
If you get bad...
You don't want people to be mad at you.
If you get bad food, you instantly send it back.
I've never once sent food back.
You'll...
Yeah, because I used to work in the restaurant, and I get it.
I understand if you don't like it, but if you have actual bad food... You know, and I was server for 10 years. And so I had a lot of people, and I worked in a sushi restaurant, which is its own funny story. I went there to learn Japanese.
Add another thing to the resume.
Yeah, but everyone spoke Hmong, so I didn't learn any Japanese whatsoever. But they would send stuff back. They're like, "Oh, this isn't what I thought it would be." It's like, I don't.
Yeah, that's.
What do you want? It's.
One time in Colorado, we were having pizza, and this pizza had like really thick crust that you're supposed to dip the crust in honey. This was like years ago. And
sounds good.
I was using my fork because I'm not always a slob. And to cut my pizza up, didn't like eat it. And I hit a hard spot and I was like, whatever, I'll go over here. And then I didn't hit a hard spot because I missed it. And I went into...
Was it a bee?
The sacred thing that we talked about earlier. And it was a hard mint candy. The red stripes were not on it, so it was like pocket candy, but it was like somebody was sucking on it and made the pizza and just like fell out. I don't know. They ended up giving us the pizza for free, but I was back in like I was in 8th grade, so I fully didn't understand like how much it would gross me out as a 33-year-old now to talk about this, but wow. I was like, well, that was the hard thing.
Yeah, who was ever preparing it was like, I can't find it. Someone must have picked it up and thrown it away. You know, it's like, oh, that's so gross.
Yeah.
But my point being is if you get bad food, or people, let's just say people get bad food, they send it back.
Yeah.
But with drinks, you never do that. You're like, that was bad. And then you'll take another sip and you'll kind of,
yeah.
And then it's like, just one more and then I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, and then you order one more drink and it's just, you'll choke your way through a bad alcoholic drink, but not...
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not food.
Okay.
And then finally, I think I was born to be a dad.
Dope. I absolutely believe that.
Yeah.
I have so many dad jokes.
Let's hear them.
I mean, I made that one up. So this one.
Oh, the bidet? Bidet, mate.
Yeah.
That's why it's called cow. Cow.
This weekend, I can't remember. We were riding in a very nice, brand new Yukon to fit us all in there. And I was in the back and I was in the middle. So I had two people on my sides. And I think like there's a lot of bumpy roads up there too. But we were just getting into the parking lot and maybe it was a speed bump that we went over. I don't even remember what my friend said. Something about, oh, that's a butt bumper right there or something like that. And I was like, also known as cellulite.
Oh, that's good.
A bumpy butt.
I like that. That's good.
And nobody laughed. I was like, come on, you guys. This is funny.
They had to get their drink on.
Ugh. They just don't get me. People don't get me.
So
I don't get me.
So these are Baileyisms. I also,
They
have
can't
got
be
to have some
explained.
good.
They're like Chinese proverbs. They can't be explained.
Mm-hmm.
They just happen. And then you look at them and you're like, I feel a lot more wisdom-like after hearing that.
And that's why I said that it's kind of my favorite thing is just like where did that come from?
Yeah.
What is going on right now?
Uh-oh. You're supposed to check your text.
I'm supposed to check my. Looks like I'm getting some more. Little do they know, I am spicier than a man. This is a text, Baileyism. This is not just me saying this out loud for the listeners.
I want to say, I'm going to bring it up. I don't even think you'll send it. But I was having a conversation with one of our trainers, Jason Ellenbecker,